Welcome to another episode of Crimes Notes. This time we are going to start solving equations that have variables on both sides. So the last few have had multiple variables where you had to combine like terms, but now those like terms are going to be on opposite sides of the equation. So if you notice, you should see the steps still. So our first step is going to be to draw the line. This shows you where the problem splits left side and right side. Then we're still going to look for fractions first. Then after that, we're still going to stick with distributing to remove parentheses. Then we said we would combine like terms. And again, this was sides separately. So you'll look at the left side and then you'll look at the right side and see if you can combine. And then this last step, we're going to move the variables to one side and all the numbers to the other side. And it doesn't matter which way. I will usually move variables to the left. And I'll move numbers to the right, and this is mainly just because when you get into inequalities, it's going to be easier to graph it if you've got the variable on the left. And then after you've done that, you're going to follow your regular steps to get the variable by itself. Again, because that is the ultimate goal of solving an equation, is to get the variable by itself. So let's look at number 1. I'm going to go ahead and fold our steps up, but you should have them at the top of your paper. So for number 1, our first step is to draw the line. So this shows us how we're splitting the problem. Then the second step is to look for fractions, which we don't have. Then distribute to remove parentheses, which we don't have. Then combine like terms sides separately. This has a K, this doesn't, so I can't put them together. This has a K, this doesn't, so we can't put them together. So we don't have any like terms to combine yet. So then it says, let's get the variables on one side and the numbers on the other. Now, I'm going to show you 2 different ways to do this, and you can choose whichever method makes more sense to you. Okay? So let's start with what we've been doing regularly. This is a K and this is a K, so I know that those 2 terms need to go together. So if I want to move this to the other side, it's just like if we're trying to remove this. So if I wanted to move the 3 over here, I would do +3, which would move the numbers over here. So if I want to move the 2K to this side, I do the same thing. Well, the 2K by itself is positive, so to move it, I would have to subtract. So I would do -2K, -2K. These would subtract out, and 6K minus 2K would be 4K. So I end up with 4K. I bring down my -3, and I still have 13 on this side. Well, now if you notice, this looks like all of the problems that we were doing before, where this was you, this is your best buddy, this is the friend that wants to hang out with you, so we kick them out first. So this is subtraction, so this is +3, +3. And now we have 4K equals 16. So then if we divide by 4, we would get K equals 4. So that is one method on how to do it. The other method, I just kind of wanted to show you guys because some of you may find it easier. Okay. If I go through, this is a variable, so it's going to stay on the left. This is a number, so it needs to move to the right. This is a variable, it needs to move to the left. And then this would stay because it's a number and it should go on the right. So if I draw the line, this is supposed to stay, so I write it. This is supposed to move to the opposite side. So if I move it to the opposite side, it has to change signs. So this is a minus, it would become a plus. Then I go to the next one, it's circled, which means it needs to move. So that means I need to change the sign and move it to the other side. So it's positive, and I would do minus 2k. And then the 13 was supposed to stay, so I put plus 13. And now we combine like terms, I'm going to end up getting to this step right here. 6k minus 2k is 4k. 3 plus 13 is 16. And now I divide by 4 and I get k equals 4. So I don't care which method you use, I will continue to kind of try to show you both of them throughout these notes. Okay? So number 2 I'm going to leave for you guys to do. It's exactly like number 1. So work through it, and again, I don't care which method you use, and see if you can't get the answer to that one on your own. So let's go down and look at number 3. Number 3, we would start by drawing the line. Then it was fractions first, we don't have any. Distribute to remove parentheses, which we don't have any. Then combine like terms on sides separately. So this has a C and this is a 1, so those don't go together. But on the other side, I do have 7C minus 2C. So I could put those two things together. So over here, I still have 8C plus 1. But on this side, 7C minus 2C would be 5C. And then I keep the minus 14. Again, be very careful about not losing these signs. So now from here, I'm supposed to move the variables to the left and the numbers to the right. So if I wanted to move this variable, it's positive. Again, the negative goes with the 14. So I would do minus 5C, minus 5C. So 8C minus 5C is 3C. And then over here I have negative 14. Then I would do minus 1, because now I'm trying to get all the numbers to the right side or get the variable by itself. So then I have 3C equals negative 15. So then divide by 3 on both sides, and I get C equals negative 5. So let's look at the other method. If I have 8C plus 1 equals 7C minus 14 minus 2C, once I get to this point and I know there's no fractions and no parentheses, I'm going to start moving stuff. Well, the variable stays on the left, but this needs to move. This is a variable, so it needs to move because it needs to go over here. This is a number, so it would stay, but this is a variable, so it would need to move. So we're going to write stuff where it goes, but I'm going to change the sign of anything that's circled. So this would be 8C. Then this is supposed to move. So over here, I change the sign of it because it's in a circle. Negative 1. Then 7C needs to move over here. So I change the sign. Minus 7C. This is supposed to stay. So minus 14. And then this is supposed to move. It's minus. So I'm going to move it and make it plus. And now I'm ready to combine like terms. So 8 minus 7 is 1, plus 2 is 3. And then negative 1 minus 14 is negative 15. And from there, you should notice that I get the same result. Again, I just want to show you both methods. You can do whichever one. Just please make sure if you ask me for help, you tell me which one that you use. All right, so let's look at number 4. Number 4, I'm going to start you off, and then I'm going to stop at a certain point and let you guys finish using whichever method you choose. So we draw the line. Fractions first, I don't see any, but we do have parentheses, so we need to distribute. Again, please do not lose this sign. So I'm going to write down the 8 because I just bring it down. Then I'm going to distribute a -2. So -2 times t, remember there's an invisible 1 in front of it, so -2 times 1 would be -2t. Then -2 times +1 would be -2. And then this equals -3t plus 1. So from here, you either need to combine like terms or do your circle method and move stuff around. See if you guys can work through and get the answer to that one. All right, so let's look at number 5. Number 5, we draw the line. Whoop, wrong color. Sorry. We look for fractions. We don't have any, but we do have quite a bit of distribution. So 5 plus, remember we're distributing this 2. So 2 times k would be 2k. 2 times 4 would be 8. Then 5 times k would be 5k. 5 times -3. Do not lose these signs. -15. And then I have this plus 10. So from here, I'm going to try to kind of work both ways. So we're going to start by combining like terms. So here I have the 5 and the plus 8. Over here I have the -15 and the plus 10. So this would give me 2k, and then 8 plus 5 would be plus 13. Ooh, sorry, hairball. Just kidding. And then 5k, -15 plus 5 would be -5. Now, if we used the other method, okay, so over here, I'm going to, I might kind of sort of run out of room, but we're going to kind of look at it if I split it like this. So if I were using the other method, this should move, this would stay, this would move, then over here the variable would move to the left, and these would both stay. So if I were to rewrite this over here, you have 5 which moves, so -5. 2k stays, so this is 2k. 8 moves, so we change the sign and move it. 5k moves, so -5k. And then -15 and +10 all stay. So then from here, we would subtract 5k, subtract 5k, and I have 2 minus 5k is -3k, plus 13 equals -5. And then if I would subtract the 13, I have -3k equals -18. So if I divide by a -3, I get that k equals 6. And of course, if we combine these over here, we get the same result, -3k, and then -5 minus 8 minus 15 plus 10 would be -18. And if you're not sure, type it in your calculator. So if we divide by a -3, you get k equals 6. Good. So let's look at number 6. Number 6, we would draw the line. It would be fractions first, which we do have this time. So we're supposed to multiply by the denominator. So the denominator is 5. So I need to multiply everything times 5. So 2/5 times 5, -9 times 5, 7 times 5, and -3/5 times 5. So you guys have a tendency to kind of do this incorrectly, so I'm going to go ahead and pull up the calculator here. So if we go in, we need to do 2/5 times 5. So go in, put in your fraction, 2/5, and then times 5 gives me 2. So I have 2n. Then this is -9 times 5. So -45. Then 7 times 5. So 35. And then this is -3/5. Do not lose the sign. And then times 5 is -3n. So from there, it's exactly like number 1 and number 2 and all the other ones that we've done. So I want you to go through and finish out that problem. Good job. If you need help, make sure you ask before you answer the questions.